Better you should smoke pot than buy all those records. And would you please stop playing with matches?
All right, so we're using our gimbal for the first time. We're in the mobile fidelity distribution room. Is that what we call this room?
That's correct, yeah.
Norbert, say hello on my gimbal.
Hello.
Okay, so what do we got here this year at AXPONA?
So this year in this room we're showcasing a few new products. One of the new products that we're showcasing is the Master Sound amplifiers from Italy. These are all handmade in Italy. Transformers are wound at their factory, which is very unique. This particular unit is called the Compact 845, which uses the 845 tubes, which are an amazing combination with the Menger loudspeakers. This amp retails for $10,500.
And it's integrated amplifier.
It's an integrated amplifier, correct.
Mm-hmm. How many inputs does it have?
It has one balanced and 4 single-ended inputs.
And the power output?
30 watts a channel.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And it's single-ended Class A. So it's really kind of a lower sensitive or a higher sensitivity loudspeaker person's dream, if you will.
No kidding.
And it's got so much current and control, which is definitely something that the Mengers need. They're not a hard load, but they really benefit from that. So,
okay.
Then the other thing that we are showcasing in this room is EMT phono cartridges, which is new to MoFi distribution, effective April 1st.
Yes, and you have what's the one that I reviewed?
The Novo Gold.
Yeah,
we have one of those in the drawer. On the front, this is the entry-level EMT cartridge, which is the HSD 006. This retails for $1,795. And on the back, we have a tone dose from EMT, which is more of from the professional range. And that is the Noval cartridge.
So you're handling the professional range as well as the amateur range?
Yes. Okay. And we also are doing the phono stage and the step-up transformer from them as well.
The 128.
Correct.
The one I reviewed.
Correct.
But you're not doing that big, complicated...
We are doing that as
well.
That
one? Oh,
yes,
I've lost
but that is a special order item that's an 8 to 10 month lead time.
Yeah.
But I already have an order in from a dealer for one of them.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
It's such a cool looking piece.
It is a very cool piece. So that's what we're showing. One other new item in this particular system, actually 3 other new items, is the new West 2.2 phono stage, the full discrete model. So this is $1,000 more expensive than the regular West 2.2, which is a fully symmetric design, and it is incredible. Then we also have the Hi-Fi Rose streamers, which is right over here. We have a room next door with all the new Hi-Fi Rose products. This is a new brand that we brought in towards the end of last year. It's a brand from Korea, from South Korea, and their streamers are really something very special on the marketplace. They are like a Swiss Army knife, completely touch panel control. We have radio stations. You have a tuner that you can set up to get internet tuner radio stations. Tidal, Koba, Spotify Connect, Rune endpoint. They have hard drive bays in there, so you can install a hard drive up to 4 terabytes and have your music
fantastic.
in there.
What does that cost?
This is the middle range streamer, retails for $2,500. And we have a bigger streamer, and we have a streamer integrated that's in a similar size case as this for $2,200.
Cool.
And then the last thing that's new in this room is the Isotek V5 Aquarius. This is the newest generation of power conditioners from Isotek. It's a step up from the V3 model that was its predecessor. We have this in this room as well as in a couple of other rooms. And this is our best-selling conditioner from them. This retails for $3,000.
And that's all?
That's all that's new in this room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And your name is?
Dean Slimby.
Radio audio.
Maybe it would be easier if you just took your mask off for this car.
I think so, yeah.
Or take it completely off.
I already had COVID a while back.
Well, no, but I mean...
We haven't, but...
So this is based upon a
servo-driven, yes.
Where it senses, is this related to what the Goldman was?
Yeah, it's similar to the Goldman T3.
Yeah. And why are you holding that?
I'm just showing it. This is underneath the channel is where the O-ring is.
Okay, that drives the...
Yeah, there's a servo motor back here, but and there's a dumb pulley back.
And so what is the lag time of it moving? In other words,
It's just about nothing because we're splitting infrared beams. Now I used to think that was a laser beam, but I took an infrared photo of the gap between these emitter collectors.
right?
It turns out that it's a fire hose.
A fire hose?
We're sort of
Spreads out.
sort of infrared.
Oh, I see.
So what's happening is it's getting enough infrared to complete the circuit. And once it starts completing the circuit, right there,
I see.
it'll do it in analog type variable amounts.
Is there any overshoot?
I put a 90-degree hardware device angle on this, and it'll maintain 90 forever across the record.
I hope to get to 90 and stay there forever. So,
once it goes to the lead-out groove, then the second circuit comes into play, and you can see this motor turning. That's this one.
I see. And what is the arm itself made of?
Delrin.
Dilron?
Delrin.
Dilron.
It's a type of Delrin is DuPont's
Yes. It's a
version of name for acetyl.
and so these wires.
Those are for your convenience. They can be your option. You can pull them off if you don't like them, but they're there for cueing in the dark. We're locating.
You literally use your finger to lift it up. I see.
It's not for that. I do have a little cueing device if you want to
It's for
use
looks
it, but I
mostly.
never use it. It's also seeing how grungy your needle is.
Yes. Is that a 3D printed thing, or are you machining that?
No, everything's subtractive machining.
Yeah.
I have a CNC mill. I mill all. There's about 40 pieces that are Delrin, and there's 3 that are plexiglass. This one, and this one. And that's why I can get the engraving on the end.
And how much do you sell this for?
Show price is $4,300, but 4,500.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah, but it's probably going to have to go up if I'm going to go to a lot of shows.
You know what? You're entitled to make money on your invention. That's what I tell some
Even if
people
he's having fun?
that charge. You know what?
Even if he's having fun?
Yes, even so. Like, I'm
Okay.
entitled to make a living, even though I have fun writing and talking to people.
Yeah.
Now, is there a way to attach this to an arm, a table that doesn't have a long platform like that? Like if you have a round kind of.
Here's my rule of thumb. If your turntable looks like a UFO, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't try to mate it.
Like a UFO. Okay, my turntable looks like the one I'm using right now. Looks like the Guggenheim Museum with a heliport and and a construction crane on top. That's what it is.
Wow.
What is it called?
It's the OMA. It's a direct drive. I'll show you a picture of it. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. This thing is rock solid. It's got no suspension. It doesn't need it. It weighs 300 pounds. It doesn't need a suspension. But if it could attach to the circular arm pod of it, I don't see why it wouldn't.
I actually bought for my collection the M&K modification. It was mounted on a Microseki DX1000. It was just scary to me to see it because it was about this much, anchored and this much in the air.
How much does this weigh?
You want to pull it off?
I'll pull one off.
I mean, obviously this wouldn't be a great thing on a suspended table where. I had an Eminent Technology arm mounted on a Oracle turntable. That was a really stupid idea.
I didn't realize.
This is suspended.
But it's connected to this.
Yeah, and it's also it's even. It's not hanging.
Right. These you can adjust the height up a half inch, down a half inch.
Yeah.
So you can change this if you need to. Shouldn't need to.
Can you take it off for him? Because you did a couple of other people.
I'll just pull this off.
Well, you got one over there. Right? What is that?
No, those are the history of
Those are what?
It's like the history of man.
Oh, right, I see. That's a museum. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a museum.
And so this is connected. How you have this glued.
I made my own plinth. I replaced the plinth that was
So a lid.
the mounting board
All right.
that was on the
I got
plinth with one that matches this. Okay.
But there must be a way to to connect this.
So let me do this for you.
Sure.
This is how we dismount it.
Oh, that's great.
There's six leads.
Why six?
Two for the LED.
Oh, I got you.
And four for signal. Okay. A lot of this I do because I want to do this for me.
Oh, wow.
Neodymium magnets and steel dowels. They just
Let them lift it. So how much?
fall. Yeah, why don't you lift it?
Oh, okay.
Listen, I think it's great that you're involved in this in any capacity whatsoever.
I'm a sister who knows nothing about it, but I do the posters.
Okay.
Maybe I'll
But you're
demonstrate.
here and you're giving him good advice and listen to what you're saying.
Thank you.
I'll demonstrate. Look, this is what I do when I'm setting it up. I take it off, change things, change the angle. This is the mounting board. This is also four neodymium magnets.
Let him put it on.
Yeah, so this looks like
Here, you put it on.
it's got to be on a table like this. You couldn't put this on a round.
There.
You've just
All
perfectly
set. Is that
aligned
right?
it.
That's
You've just
right.
perfectly aligned it because the magnets want to go to center.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I'll let you do that.
These are bismuth weights, bismuth in the counterweights. Okay. So this is just drops on here. That.
I think it's on.
There it is.
Did you do it right?
Yeah.
You did.
You know, and so it's on there.
It's a Dynavector or what?
Yeah, it's 30-year-old cartridge.
Is it a Dynavector Ruby?
Yeah, really.
That was my first grade cartridge. They all failed, and yours didn't fail. It's a
Because
miracle.
I didn't use it.
Oh, that's why. Because they all, the back of the thing is tied up with like a string as opposed to a wire, and they all broke.
So let me
Mine, the
show
cantilever
you.
was just gone.
It's gone. That's a difference.
See, this is a T-slot,
Okay.
so it mounts inside this T-slot.
Oh, I see this. It's hard to see black on black.
Yeah.
And if you measure the resonant frequency with a cartridge like this, where it falls in the 8 to 12 hertz range,
I haven't yet.
because that's really key too.
But I did use the CBS test records, and I can't find it. Delrin is so dead.
That it's still there has to be a resonant frequency of the arm and the cartridge, the weight and the compliance
With the cartridge,
It
yeah.
should be between 8 and 12 hertz.
Yeah.
That's just the way it has to be. And there's a way to make that happen, depending upon whether you have to add weight to add mass to that, or that'll be interesting.
Here's how I set it up. Initially, I'll put the counterweight on here, and I will move it as close in as possible, and just back it off a little bit so that it doesn't ever pinch.
Right.
And then I move over to here where the weighting system is. Okay.
And you can add weights to the front.
So the weights go in this little thin well,
Okay.
and I have four of them. There's an inch, there's a 16th of an inch, an 1/8 inch, a 3/16.
So you can add mass right at the head shell.
Right at the head
All right.
shell.
So that's then what's a matter of measuring where the resonant, where you find you've got to find the resonant frequency. It's not between 8 and 12. It's either way higher, which is not good, or it's way lower, which is not good. But we'll figure it out.
So
If I had time, we could figure it out today. But
We're trying to get to 1.68 for a Quetzal
Track
or
force,
for a Lyra. Right. So if this doesn't, if one of those four weights doesn't get you really where you want to go, then you start adding M2.5 screws into the remaining three. You can probably get four remaining screws there, and that'll get you pretty close to where you want to be.
tracking force was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want really tight, you can put 1, 2, or 3 screws into the.
And how heavy
weights.
a cartridge do you think you can use with this?
I've used the Quetzal. It's pretty light.
Yeah.
I think you could use. I think the problem is how light.
Okay.
but above and beyond what anybody can do at home, regardless of what they've bought for a cleaning machine.
That's what we'd have to test.
Well, let's do it.
Well, how do you test that?
Well, I have a couple of copies that have been cleaned on other record ultrasonic type devices, primarily older versions of the PVF system, which approximates things like the degritter.
Yeah.
And I'll stack it up against anything that we're doing with our 3D.
And what do you use?
It's commercial record cleaning equipment. We built the first commercial record cleaning system. We can do 40 records an hour, 400 records a day, and we can get them cleaner and better sounding than any other process that people can do at home. And we do it for $8 a record.
Thank you.
Sound of silence.
Demoing the Doshi Evolution series, which is the evolution of the V3 series. Every single component has been upgraded with new power supplies, new damping materials, some circuit changes, in many cases over 12 dB of signal to noise ratio gains, much better dynamic range, etc. So that's what we have for folks today. We have the Evolution series line stage. Right below it is the phono stage, and this particular one has two moving coil inputs with remote control loading, and we just heard some amazing test pressings. Below that is the Orender 820 with built-in DAC for digital playback. We also have the J. Shikora Standard Max. And this particular turntable is a 2-motor belt drive with two 12-inch tone arms.
Okay. So this is the Bergman, which model?
Modi with the Thor tone arm. There's a Hana ML cartridge on this.
What does that cost?
$17,000 for the arm and table and the pump, and the cartridge is $1,200.
Yeah, it's good. I reviewed the big one. It's really good.
Oh yeah. Well, this is obviously considerably less expensive.
Yeah.
This is the Moon River 404 reference. We're using the built-in optional phono stage.
Where's that made?
Sweden. These are the Graham LS81, which is the 50th anniversary of Derek Hughes' father's design, which was the Spender DC-1. So this is more extended than the original DC-1. These play out to 20 kilohertz on top. The original played out to 16 kilohertz. And these have usable bass down to 32 hertz.
Wow. I'm being accosted in the hallway by this guy.
Yes, I'm from Central Illinois and in the middle of the cornfields. And thank you to you. I was reintroduced to vinyl in the mid-90s and I'm still into it. Thank you to you, I appreciate it. And I wanted to say thank you in person. I ran into you after all these years. I haven't been to a hi-fi show since 1999, downtown Chicago at the Palmer House.
Oh wow.
So, yes.
Yeah.
So
great.
it's good to meet you.
And you got in at the right time, so there were so many great used records that you could buy for almost nothing. And now those same records, so you have a collection worth a lot.
Absolutely. And the flea markets in Central Illinois, so the great pressings, some of the older pressings, the living stereos around there, I picked them up for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Good
and
for
now
you.
we're fighting over them. So thank you.
You bet. This is Nelson Pass's, what is it called?
It's called the Beast of 1,000 JFETs, and it's 1,024 small signal JFETs in parallel to give enough amperage to actually drive speakers. And that's 1,024 per channel, so there are 4 boards, each with 512 of them.
Parts, these JFETs are available?
Yes. Yeah, and the advantage is that the JFETs are ultra low distortion, so you don't have to use any negative feedback at all. There's just a very simple circuit to drive everything.
So what we've got a lot of world premieres here today.
Okay. Jeff Catalano, High Water Sound.
Hey. So anyway, this is the new TW-LS, and this is the LS that's more or less the extreme version because it's been upgraded to the solid copper platter, and it's got a dual motor module in the back, so it makes 3 motors on a very small footprint. So there's a lot of table in a very small space. Motor controllers integrated into a solid aluminum plinth. 2 12-inch TW arms. This is the Stein Music Aventurin 6 moving coil cartridge. And this is the Miyajima Infinity Mono cartridge. Yes, I know you do. Furatech phono cables. This is you'll see in a minute.
So this is the LSD model?
No, yeah, right. I get it, all right.
Okay.
So here's a massive audio.
I've got one of those.
I know you do.
It's nice.
It's wonderful.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I really do.
That's really nice.
Down here this is a TW acoustic line stage. This is a TW acoustic phono stage.
These are all new?
Yes.
Yeah, they look. He's really upped his electronics game.
Yeah, and these are world premiere of the new TW acoustic 300B monoblocks, all transformer coupled, 6 watts. We're probably getting maybe a watt in this room at the most. The rack is from Kodia Acoustic Design in South Korea, which I'm now importing. We have, in the back, we have Stein Music Harmonizer Pros.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have, the speakers are Cesaro Horn Acoustic Opus 1s.
How do you spell that?
Opus.
No.
Cesaro Horn Acoustic.
How does that spell?
Oh, Cessaro.
Oh, I know him. Of course I know him.
Yeah. That's the mask, I know. And once again, these are the world premiere of these. They will be at Munich.
So let's just so the turntable costs how much?
As this is here, is $24,000.
Okay, with the arm, without the arm?
Without the arm.
Okay, and the arms?
The arms are $6,000 each.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other products costs?
$20,000, $20,000, $30,000.
$30,000 for the amps, $20,000 for the
line stage,
and
$20,000 for the
phono stage. And that's how many inputs does that have?
It's got 3 inputs, 5 equalizations, 5 impedances, but most importantly, you can reverse the phase.
Ah, okay. And that's all?
That's
Okay, let's hear it. Is this your new turntable?
It's one of our new turntables.
How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you? How's it going?
Still here, so that's always a good. Okay, so which one is this?
So this is our Alva ST. It's going to get released in a couple of weeks. Retails at $9.99, so $1,000. Low resonance tone arm. Comes with a moving magnet cartridge. The Audio Technica. The
AT90. Oh, it's a VM95.
95, exactly. So it's got that upgradable stylus you can put on there.
Right.
It's got a built-in phono stage, but it's also defeatable.
It's a moving coil and magnet, or just
this one's just moving magnet.
Okay.
And there's also defeatable high-res Bluetooth streaming as well. So for those late listening sessions. And this is a belt drive. This is our Alva TT V2. So this retails at $19.99, so $2,000. Again, a low resonant tone arm, moving coil cartridge, removable head shell. Obviously we have our counterweight back here. We've upgraded our anti-skate dial, nice and smooth so you can dial it in. This too has a defeatable phono stage. So this can do moving coil or moving magnet. And it too has high-res Bluetooth streaming.
It's an all stainless steel rack. It's a 4-point rack. We have Ultra 7s at the butt base. We have rail grids on each level. We have Ultra 6s in each level. On the top shelf, because we don't have the turntable platter done, or the platform done, we use Ultra 2s and 6s to elevate the Wolf above the bar. It's all cable design, just like our other racks, but it's much more stable. Like I said, it's all stainless steel. It's very, very rigid.
But the shelves are still isolated the same way as the old.
Shelves are still isolated the same way.
And so what will be on top here?
This will be a stainless steel shelf. Right now we're playing with different materials. I didn't like the bamboo. I'm looking at cracked glass. That'll be a multi-layer cracked glass.
It'll go on top of this?
Yes, be on top of the Ultra 6s.
And this is going to sell for how many bucks?
Right now, the way it is, $65,000. Our top line. We'll probably do a double wide in the future, and we'll do multiple levels. Now that it's a 4-point, I can go much higher than we did on the other 42-inch.
Yeah. Can you do a turntable on this level and then build up and have other pieces of gear above it? Or no?
No. The top level would have the 6s, then we couldn't go up any further. Although if we ever, when we get to the double wide, yes, you would.
Right, of course. Okay. Okay, George, it's your turn. What do you got?
It's my turn. Okay, so we have a couple of new pieces in here. We have the Tessa reference phono stage that has been completely reworked and has different tube complement. It has two 12AX7s, two 12DW7s, and two 12AU7s, and a new circuit and all the controls in the front, like the previous version, but everything has been upgraded internally. And the power supply, the external power supply, has been completely rebuilt. And then we have a new power amp. I think you're interested in that too. That's with KT150s, is the way we ship them. And it's 100 watts a channel, Class A. And you can it will accommodate KT88s, KT120s, KT150s, and KT170s. With a bias switch on the front, you can switch on the fly, and you can hear the difference in the sound. At the highest setting, you have the most power for the KT-150s and 170s. I like it in the middle. It has a little more breathing room.
Okay, and that's all you have?
I got 15. Let Michael.
The last of the Jelco arms.
Yeah, man.